Renowned author and speaker Reggie McNeil says a growing number of people are leaving institutional church for a new reason. They are not leaving because they have lost faith, they are leaving the church to preserve their faith. Now, if that's you and you have just left the institutional church or you're considering leaving the institutional church, here are 5 things to expect if this is you. Number one, you will lose some relationships. Now, most relationships within any institution, whether it be sacred or secular, are built on transaction, meaning you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back, or you do something for me, I'll do something for you. But the moment you don't do something for me, I'm no longer doing something for you. The moment you stop scratching my back, I'm going to stop scratching your back. And this is why when somebody leaves the church, the relationship typically ends as well. And this can be hard and difficult to experience and to go through, especially when you've done life with people so closely and so intimately for so long. And know that this is something that we are all guilty of. It's not personal to you, it's something that we're all guilty of. And the way that we have built transactional relationships as opposed to love, agape relationships. And so we all need to mature in love. And love is the ability to say, I choose you, even if you never choose me back. And it's the ability to love one another irrespective of our choices. But unfortunately, within the many institutions, these are built on transaction as opposed to love. And so one of the first things to expect when you decide to leave and step out of the institutional church is that you will lose some relationships. So that's number one. Number two, you will be measured and criticized. Now, the fabric of institutional Christianity measures one's faith according to their church attendance or non church attendance. For example, if you're going to church, you're doing good. If you're not going to church, then you're not doing good. Now, this may be an accurate measure for some, but it's not true for the whole. And so many times I was accused and I was told that I was not doing well and I was being criticized because I was no longer at the institution. And it just was not true. I may have left the building, but I never left my good father. And so this is something that you have to be willing to face anyway, is that you will be measured and criticized. That's number two. Number three, you will look and seem backslidden. Now, when you step out of the security and the comfort of the institution, some may be concerned for you and see you as backsliding. And you may even feel the same inside. I definitely felt the same. And it can be tempting to retreat, to go back. But know that this is very common and it's to be expected and that it is okay. And it's very normal when you step out of somebody's security and comforts and they see you as an outsider to that, they can become very concerned. They may even be fearful for themselves, fearful for you. And so you will look and seem backslidden to those people. That's number three. Number four, you will feel lost at times. Now, this is normal, but we've not taught enough about this. Instead, we're often made to feel condemned, whether that's condemned by self or by others, not realizing that there is actually a deeper work at play. You see, by losing the things that we once clung to in order to relate to Him, we're now learning to cling to Him alone. But that transition of systems, frameworks, of things that we once needed to now learning to live by Him alone, that transition we can get lost in transition. And so know that it's very common, it's very normal, but it also is opening you up to number five, which is you will discover God in greater ways. So in losing the securities and the comforts of institutional Christianity, you soon learn that those things also kept you from deeper and richer experiences with Him. But as you persevere through this transition, through that sense of feeling lost, through all the backlash, the comments, the judgments, as you persevere and choose to trust His heart, even when you cannot trace His hand, you discover Him in ways that you could not know prior. And this has been the reality for my journey and for the clients that I take through the Revive program, is that in this moment of transition, when they step out of institutional church, when they step out of the comforts and securities to choose to cling and grasp to Him alone, the beauty that they discover, the goodness, the abundance that lies on this other side is just something you cannot explain. It can only be experienced. And so this is not an easy path to travel, and it takes immense courage to follow. And those who know what I'm saying, you know exactly what I mean when I say that. But it is worth it because of the deeper discovery of God and also the maturity that you have to grow in and the nature of Jesus that is formed and fashioned in you along the way. It's a beautiful thing. And so this journey, it cannot be manufactured. You have to come naked and vulnerable. And this is why I say it takes immense courage, because performance Christianity has us wearing certain masks to look a certain way. But to go on this journey of maturity to look more and more like your good father, well, you have to come naked and vulnerable. You have to be willing to allow him to see you as he already sees you, but for you to see yourself in that same way so that his nature can be formed and forged in you. And it takes courage to allow him to do that, to surrender to that. But it is a good thing. Unfortunately, we have few fathers who help us to navigate this in a healthy way. And so, like Paul says, you have many teachers, but few fathers. And this is why I am in the space I am, to help people to steward this journey of church and whatever this transition may look like for them, to help them to steward it well and to know that you are not alone and that there's always more to discover with your good father, but only if we choose it. And so it's my heart that you would choose that, because on the other side of church and this transition and everything that comes place with that, there is so much more beauty and goodness for you to discover in there. So again, those 5 things. Number 1, you will lose some relationships. Number 2, you will be measured and criticized. Number 3, you will seem backslidden and you'll look backslidden to a lot of people. Number 4, you will feel lost at times, but it's very normal. It's part of the transition. And number 5, you will discover God in greater ways than you currently know. And it is a good thing, but it takes courage to pursue it. And it's my heart that you would choose that. And this is why I'm in the space I'm in. So if this is you, you've been hurt by the church, you're in this place of transition where now you know it's time to step out of the institutional church. You're not leaving your faith. You're just learning to follow him and cling to him alone. If that's you, then book a call below. We can have a chat about your journey. I can share a bit about the Revive program, what I do. We can chat about that. If we're a good fit, then we can talk about next steps. Or click the link to my Instagram profile, send me a message, and we can chat through there as well. But it's my heart and my desire that you would choose this, because there is so much more goodness waiting on the other side for you. In the same way that Reggie says, people are leaving not because they have lost their faith, but rather to preserve their faith. And I would add also to discover that there is so much more to our faith that we've currently understood so far.